Hi everyone, it's Eva here. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to a brand new episode of Architecture and Interior Design Explained. And today we are exploring the boho interior design. So let's get right into it. Basically, boho or bohemian is a rule-defying style that is very personal, exotic, and decorated. The number one rule is there are no rules, because basically everything is possible, but there has to be some kind of structure, and there is an actual art to creating a boho interior. So let's delve into a short overview of the history of boho interior design. So the term has been derived by the French expression la bohème, which the French used to refer to Romani people, and it is believed that somewhere in Bohemia, this style started to emerge where a lot of Romanis were settled, and they had their own unique style. The boho style, the way we know it today, originated in 19th century Paris, where artists moved to Romani areas of Paris because they wanted to distance themselves from the bourgeoisie. Many artists discarded wealth, chose poverty, and chose a different creative lifestyle. Boho design today means incorporating many different philosophies from all around the world, from loads of different cultures. The result is a very eclectic style that is inspired by free-spirited, norm-defying individuals like, for example, travelers, artists, writers, and so on. Now, because boho is an interior style, we will not be able to look at any exterior features, but instead we will focus on a lot of interior features. Here I want to quickly remind everybody that I'm not an expert on interior design or architecture, and I did teach myself this information. And obviously, I did say at the beginning there are not really any rules, but there are some guidelines that you can stick to in case you want to reenact this style in your own home or in your Sims house. Now let's start with colours. Boho often uses warm, earthy colours, as well as metallics and jewel tones. Jewel tones are purple, ruby red, and emerald green. A lot of the time, the base colours are actually quite neutral, like for example brown, beige, and stuff like that, and then heavy accent colours are used, for example red, orange, yellow, just anything that's really highly saturated. For walls, sometimes darker colours are being used to create like this bazaar-like look, but at the same time it has to be said that there should be some kind of continuity throughout the colour use, because otherwise it will easily feel overwhelming and disjointed. If you're not a fan of colour, that is no problem at all, because you can just use patterns to incorporate this boho interior style. You can feel free to mix patterns and textures, and you can combine things that you would never have combined. The key here is intentional layering. Just combine lots of pillows, rugs, throws, all sorts of colours, patterns, shapes, scales, anything. Right, let's move on to some materials. So unlike the minimalist modern style that we explored in episode 1, boho follows the more is more philosophy. Basically, when decorating a boho room, you can just mix and match whatever way you like. Usually in boho designs, you'll find a lot of natural materials, such as like burlap, for example. You'll find a lot of wood. Wood, for example, is used to create kind of warmth and comfort in the boho space. And then there's obviously wicker. Wicker is probably the number one material we associate with boho design. Moving on to furniture. Basically, what you'll find a lot in boho rooms is vintage furniture. It is a very big deal in boho design to have furniture that kind of has a history, a personality, something interesting about it. It should never look brand new, but at the same time it should never look really old and scruffy either. And because a lot of people like using their vintage finds in their homes, it is not very matchy-matchy. It can be quite the opposite. And an interesting fact about boho design is actually a lot of the time you can combine them with modern items to give these like old-looking furniture a bit of a pop. Some furniture items that are very common in boho houses are canopy beds, plush chairs and couches, and funnily enough, low-lying furniture. So in general, you want to have furniture that is quite low to the ground to make the room more comfortable. Now we get into the very, very nitty-gritty of accessories, because accessories are a big, big deal in boho design. Like I said, in boho, more is more. Boho design is not about empty spaces, minimalistic decor, but quite the opposite. Usually in a boho home, you can find a lot of curated finds, old family heirlooms, and other items that you may have collected from all over the world. At the same time, you don't want to come across as a hoarder, so too much clutter may not look too good. Basically, you want to make sure that every item that you use has a specific place and purpose in your home. And here is the obvious. There are a lot of accent pillows, throws, and wall hangings, and of course, there's also rugs. Rugs are usually the perfect place to incorporate pattern and colour, from Persian-inspired styles to maybe more geometric looks. Everything works. Another feature that I read about and I found it really quite cute is, rather than having like one main overhead light fixture, you can have a lot of candles, lanterns, and little lights. And then probably one of the biggest points of boho is the plants. Lots and lots and lots of plants. When you read about boho design, a lot of people say that plants can warm up the space and give it a kind of cozy and artsy look, which is basically what inspired this interior style in the first place. And again, for plant pots, you can incorporate a lot of patterns and colours. And while we're talking about plants, one big plant feature are hanging plants. Hanging plants is something I immediately associate with the boho interior design style, and they are absolutely beautiful. You can have them either in pots or hanging from like knotted fabrics. Of course, we all love those cascading plants that have like their leaves trailing down like a little waterfall. I love those plants, and I actually have one at home. If you also want to tap into a more glamorous and chic side of boho, mirrors and chandeliers are a perfect way to do that. They not only make the room a lot brighter and bigger, but they also create a really great focal point. And last but not least, you'll always be able to find prints in a boho home. Gallery walls with like lots of paintings and sets of paintings are very common in boho design, usually all in different sizes and with different frames to create this kind of artsy look again. And now to the final part of this video, where I will show you my personal favorite packs and items to use to recreate a boho interior in The Sims 4. Number 1, not surprisingly, is tiny living. Even though the furniture might not be fully boho because it is more contemporary modern, some of the sofas are really perfect for this style, and I love the plant inspired art as well as the beautiful rug. Number 2 of my favorites is, not surprisingly, again, eco lifestyle. I didn't know this was such a big favorite of mine, but yeah, apparently it is. Eco lifestyle is really here for blankets. The beds are really cozy with their cute little blankets, and there is an actual blanket and pillow holder, which I think I use in every single build that I ever do. It's my go-to item. I also love the Leaning Picture collections because they just scream boho to me. Number 3 is actually the new pack, the Paranormal Stuff Pack, because it has a lot of cute boho items like the sofa, I mean, it's to die for, the hanging plants and also all the other little plants, as well as this beautiful wall tapestry. And speaking of hanging plants, there is Nifty Knitting, which is probably the pack that you want to get if you want to have hanging plants, because there's a multitude of them and they come in all sorts of different colors, lengths, shapes, patterns. They're great. As well as there is a lot of furniture that can be quite colorful as well as cozy at the same time. In 5th place, actually, which surprised me, is the base game, mostly because of those cute plants. I'm all about plants, and we did say plants are really important in boho interior design, so those base game plants are amazing. I use those little ones in the orange pots all the time in boho, especially because that terracotta kind of color is so perfect for boho. In Jungle Adventure, you'll find beautiful baskets, which I think are a must for every boho house. And 2 of my favorite items that I use in literally every boho design I ever do is the mirror that comes in this pack. I mean, it could not be more boho, as well as that little stool. Even though it is a chair, I like to use it to put plants on it. Even though the movie stuff pack is advertised as being boho, for me personally it is too eclectic and too colourful, so I rarely ever use it. 3 things I really like about this pack are the poofs, the curtains, and the picture sets. If you don't have seasons, I recommend buying this pack just for the bed. I use this bed obsessively, not only in boho, but I think it works perfect for boho. In City Living, you'll find a canopy bed and rugs with gorgeous patterns that just scream boho. In Cats and Dogs, you'll also find some rugs and sofas. Parenthood has my number 1 fireplace for boho designs, as well as a lot of cute clutter items and lights. Discover University doesn't really have many boho items, but the ones that are boho are ideal. I can really recommend those plants, especially because they also come in the same terracotta color as the base game plants. And last but not least, Island Living has some wicker items like a chair and a plant holder. We have reached the end of the 2nd episode about boho interior design. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And as always, do let me know in the comments below which build style you would be most interested to see in the next episode, and keep a lookout for some more polls in my community tab. I'll see you on Wednesday with another speed build. Bye!